My name is Salina. My family owns and operates a resort in remote Alaska, and one of the questions I get asked all the time is, where do we check in? What's the check-in process like? What's the flight back to the resort from Anchorage? And here we are at the building. You guys are going to check in for your scenic flight to Lake Clark Resort. I'm going to take you guys inside and show you the whole process, all the way to getting to Port Alsworth. So come with me.
Upon booking, our clients are given specific times to check in for their scenic flight to Lake Clark Resort. They fly with our sister company, Lake Clark Air, located on Merrill Field, which is about 30 minutes away from the international airport. To my left, you see the check-in stations. There's a specific piece of paper you fill out before going up front to drop off your bags. In between the time we were told to check in to the time we got in the plane was about 30 minutes. Now, these planes are small Alaska planes, and they fit about 6 to 8 passengers. We were lucky enough today to have my grandfather as our pilot. Glenn Alsworth Sr., but you'll hear me calling him Uppa throughout this video, is the owner of Lake Clark Air and also flies the majority of the Lake Clark Resort clients from Anchorage to Lake Clark Resort. Today, he's taking myself plus a plane load of clients from Anchorage to the resort. We are flying in a King Air. We have been getting a lot of rain recently, so this sunny day was a treat for us. We started off after departing Anchorage, flying low around Cook Inlet, looking for harbor seals and beluga whales. We didn't have any luck with the beluga whales, but we did see some harbor seals. It's a little hard to see them in this video. Here, I'm gonna zoom in to the portion where we saw them. They always seem to hang out in just this one little area. Not before too long, we were about to enter Lake Clark Pass, which my Uppa dubbed as the Grand Canyon of Alaska. And we are not the only ones flying this route. Can you see the 2 airplanes flying there too? My Uppa has logged over 40,000 hours of flight time. You can do the math of how many years that is continually in the sky, but it's a lot, and that's just what he has of logged time. I can't imagine how many actual hours he has, like before he was even logging his time. My Uppa's parents, my great-grandparents, were the ones that homesteaded where the resort is located. His father came to Alaska to be a pilot, and his mom was a Alaskan native from one of the local villages. They met and were married and started their homestead right here where the resort is located. Uppa has been flying this route for many, many years. I would say that he has flown this more than anyone else has in their life. He's seen this area grow and change, and he knows so much of the area too. If you're lucky enough to get to be able to sit co-pilot with him, you're probably gonna hear many of his stories. Growing up in remote Alaska, literally when it was just his family, and of all the cool places that he's flown to. In this clip here, through his window, you'll see parts of a glacier. We'll pan over to my side and you'll see the other side of the glacier. Well, in my grandfather's lifetime, that glacier used to connect. Here's him telling me that story and the name of the glacier. It's named after someone that his brother knew. But that glacier used to be connected and over time has melted and is now separated. It used to be 1,000 feet high, maybe 1,500 feet. Don't quote me on exactly how high it was. We were lucky to have such beautiful weather the whole flight through. Weather doesn't allow to go through the pass. The planes will just go up and over at about 8,000 feet. And so you're getting mountaintops and clouds, and it's still really pretty. But there's nothing like flying between the mountains over glaciers and waterfalls next to volcanoes, and you never know what wildlife you're gonna see. I know we saw the seals in the beginning, and who knows how many bears and moose and other animals we flew over, and we just didn't know it. I've seen both of those animals many times flying through that pass. And I have lived here for 26 years, and this view just still gets me every single time. And I feel like with every season, it looks so different. Every time I fly through the pass, my phone is always full. So definitely make sure that your phones are ready when you're doing this flight. And here we go, our first sign of Lake Clark, which means we are now out of Lake Clark Pass, and we are so close to Port Alsworth, where the resort is located. Lake Clark National Park is named after this lake, Lake Clark. It was established in the 1980s. It's honestly why the majority of people come here. It's because it's one of the hardest national parks to get to because it's off the road system, so you have to fly there. And with us at the resort, if you want to do a day trip where it's same day in and out, it's about $650 per person. And that still gives you enough time to go on some of the hikes that are in the park and go visit the visitor center before going back to Anchorage. And now that we are turning on final, you get your first glimpse of Port Alsworth, which is where the Lake Clark National Park Visitor Center is located, and it also is my home. It's where I live year-round. There are 2 privately owned airstrips and no pavement. It's all just rocks and dirt. With a population of nearly 200 people year-round, this place booms in the summer from tourism and different ministries that are also located here. I also just have to show you this because when you are landing here at the resort, a lot of people ask me, how far away is the resort from the landing strip? Well, this plane will literally park right in front of the resort. Our hosting staff meets you directly at the aircraft. They will point out to you directions on where to go to the National Park Visitor Center for hiking trails, show you around the resort, and then also show you to your room, which the whole resort is located right where my great-grandparents homesteaded. Our gift shop, coffee shop is right where their cabin used to be. As you can see, this place has changed so much in the past 80 years. And now let me be the very first to welcome you to Port Alsworth, Alaska, and also to Lake Clark Resort. Port Alsworth surrounds these 2 privately active runways. So did you notice the 4-wheeler that was sitting there on the side waiting? He was waiting for us to park so he could go home. The whole flight in total is about 1 hour long, approximately 160 miles. The best flight you're probably going to take in your whole lifetime.